Jordan. Oh, a spectacular move by Michael Jordan.
Approaching 5 to play in the third. Kobe. Crawford. Hogan. Bring it on, Kobe, baby.
You are now tuned into the chat room. Your favorite baller's favorite podcast.
Welcome to the chat room. This is the second episode, or episode 1, if you want to consider the pilot episode just a pilot episode. I am here with Dewayne.
What's going on?
I'm here with Essay.
Raptors in 6.
He's back to this again.
There you go, man.
Yo, before I can even introduce the rest of people, I gotta. For those that don't know, on the chat room pod Instagram page, we had a thing up to say fill out who you think is going to finish in first place, 8th place, who you think is going to win the championship. I see Essay Zone, and I had to make sure I added it to the story because it said Raptors in 6. Finals MVP, it said Spicy P.
Spicy peasy.
I was like, all right. It's so early for this. We also got Coach Francis in the building.
What on, y'all?
We got Joseph here.
What's up, man?
And I am the Senator. So we are going to just jump into a bunch of topics. We're going to try keeping this as short as possible. But,
quick. Yeah, sir.
But at the same time, we're going to have some really good conversations on here. So let's jump into the first one. Start, bench, cut. Who would you start? Who would you bench? Who would you cut between the following? Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving, Russell Westbrook.
I think I'd start Curry and bench Westbrook. And then Kyrie can get going.
Whoa.
Yeah, I got that. I think Westbrook is going to give me an unmatched energy off, like whether he starts or comes off the bench. He's going to give me energy that's just unmatched, and he's a dog, so he's going to come out. And I think Curry is probably the best shooter we've ever had in the NBA. He's a teammate. He's a great teammate, and he's a professional. So I think he gives you everything that Kyrie gives you, just better shooting. So put those two together, I think can't really lose. Only thing is I'm kind of worried about is that Kyrie is a proven closer. So I'm kind of worried about that aspect. But other than that, that's my start bench.
All right, Dewayne.
You know what? I'm gonna have to start Curry. I'm gonna have to bench Westbrook. I'm gonna have to cut Kyrie. It's pretty much that's what I would have picked regardless, anyways. So, yeah. I mean, pretty much the same reasons with Steph Curry. You know what you're getting with him. Inside, outside, he's a killer. Westbrook. I mean, he gives you everything you need. Triple-double guy. It's just energy, gives you anything you need. And with Kyrie, I mean, those guys can pretty much do anything that Kyrie can. So outside, I mean, Kyrie has the edge with the ball handling a little bit, but I don't think it's enough to justify having him over those two. So I'm going to go with that.
I don't know, for people that are just listening to the audio version, they're missing Joseph's facial expression throughout everybody's conversation right now. So I think that the next person that needs to talk at this point, because it seems like he has a lot to get off his chest. Joseph.
You know what? I'm a fan of all three, but I'm probably going to start Curry, bring Kyrie off the bench, and cut Westbrook. Because I know what I'm getting with Curry and Kyrie. I know I'm getting ball handling. I know they're going to set people up. I know they can get their shot. I know they can close. Westbrook, I don't know what I'm going to get. And I love Westbrook, but Westbrook is a loose cannon. When he's on, it is beautiful. When he is off, I want to turn off the television. I can't. And he's forcing shots, and he's looking away from his teammates. Don't get me wrong. He always plays hard, which is amazing. But there's also times that you're playing hard and you're doing all of the wrong things. And anyone that plays basketball knows what you mean. You always have that one guy on a pickup run who's playing super hard. He's running around, wasting energy, turning the ball over, forcing shots, and you're losing the game.
You don't think Westbrook's evolved a little bit as a ball player? Like, I mean, you're
I love
describing Westbrook. Maybe this is like the 3-4 years ago version of Westbrook.
I think if he's not the focal point, like how he is on Houston, where he's not the focal point now, he can thrive. But if you bring him in, like if you're starting him, where you're basically giving him the keys to, like, not the franchise, but the keys to the team, where like, yo, you're our guy and we're gonna go with you, that can backfire really bad. And we've seen it in the playoffs, like 2 years ago when they were facing Portland. He took that one-on-one so personal to the point where like it was just like he only saw Lillard and the rim and like no one else, and it cost him the series. That's the only reason I'm gonna cut him. But
all right, you brought up some points there.
Yeah. You guys are hating on Kyrie, man. Yo, what's going on?
It's not hate, man.
I mean,
Yo,
for me,
you know this guy did
off the bench. Like off the bench, I want somebody who can change the momentum of the game. And I think, like, whether we be down or up, I think Westbrook is gonna come in and his energy is gonna be a spark plug off the bench. So if Curry starts the game and he's cold,
Westbrook ain't coming off the bench,
and we're down 5-10, I mean,
if he
can say that, but then is Kyrie gonna come off the bench?
Man,
which is why
Kyrie's not. So
okay.
Oh my!
I mean,
gosh.
yeah, just in my perspective, like a bench player, your energy has to be higher than the starters because you're not getting no momentum or anything from the fans.
Like you get no.
You're often coming in the game when it's like
no reps.
5 minutes to go in the quarter. Low, like either the starters are doing bad and you're trying to come back in to like whatever, or the starters doing good.
You're basically creating that momentum from scratch. That's what your job is.
Yeah. So for me, when I see a bench player, I think Westbrook could thrive in that. And since he's the bench player, like if he was to go like off the handle or whatever, just fuck him. Fuck him, put Curry back in the game. Say, hey, go handle this, man.
Okay.
I mostly brought in Kyrie because like I feel like he's like instant defense. He doesn't really have to get warm. Like you can bring him in and then like he's there getting like 10 points for you already. Like really kind of effort.
The one thing where I said is that the best closer there is Kyrie.
He is.
So that's where he kind of.
Which is why.
Closer.
Oh, hold on. Curry's a closer?
No, he's not. Curry's not a closer.
Yo, hold on. I'm late to the like Curry fan party because I used to not really like this guy, but like people are telling me he's a horrible, like player in the fourth quarter. I haven't really like checked it.
He's a what in the fourth quarter?
A horrible player.
Oh yeah, he is.
He's not horrible.
Well, okay,
I wouldn't
say horrible. He doesn't live up to what is needed from him, which is exactly why he's coming off the bench. I don't know why Westbrook's even in the conversation because he doesn't have only two of these guys have a ring, and that's Kyrie, Uncle Drew Irving, who will be my starter, and Stephen Curry, who will be coming off the bench because I need Kyrie to start the fourth and actually close the game. I like Westbrook; he's entertaining, but he's a hothead. He gets emotional. It's easy to get in Westbrook's head. It's and in the finals, Game 7, I don't need that kind of energy, and only two of those guys have that experience. So that's my 3. Let's start Uncle Drew, bench Steph, Westbrook, and enjoy golf. That's what I'm thinking.
Every team needs that guy, man. You look at any championship team, they have that guy.
You'd like that one. I feel what you're saying. Like
any championship team, you look at any of them, they have that one guy who's a spark plug off the bench.
And I totally agree. So, but my start bench cut would definitely be Steph to start. I'd put Westbrook off the bench because I just need that. I need a player to come in to either maintain or increase the energy that is on the court, and that's what Westbrook. Because Westbrook just has no chill. So I know that if I put him in. If he's sitting on the bench for 9 minutes and only has 3 minutes to show off what he can do, that guy's going 100 the whole time. Like, you ain't got to worry about that guy's gonna go grab 12 rebounds out of nowhere, put up 20 shots in 3 minutes. Like, he's gonna miss his own shots, go get it, put it back up. Like, I don't even gotta worry about who else is on the court with him. It's Westbrook and a bunch of other players. Just cause his mindset is literally those players are there to play defense. I'm here to maintain the lead, and this is what's gonna happen. Now, am I gonna put that player in at the end of the game? No, which is why I still have which is why Steph is there, because Steph is like the level-headed one out of them all to be like, tell everyone calm down, whatever, and then go in and be calm about it. And Westbrook is just gonna be sitting down looking sour while Steph puts up a bunch of shots and makes it at the end of the game for me. So that's my start bench cut. So before we even start the next start bench cut, we gotta welcome MJ to the chat.
What's happening?
This one here, it was a perfect time for him to jump right back into it, because we already know if you listen to the pilot episode, you'll already know where this is gonna go. So start bench cut. LeBron, KD, Kawhi. Whoever wants to go first, you can go first.
MJ, you can only use LeBron once, by the way.
I only have the LeBron card one time.
It's only one time for the rest of the podcast.
I was gonna say King James, LeBron.
Cry baby.
I'll cut the cry baby. I'll cut him. That's a tough one though. I don't even know who I would start with, to be honest. I'd probably start. Damn.
Just say it.
I'm starting KD.
What?
I'm benching LeBron because he can make others better. The bench, he'll elevate those guys, and then I'm cutting Kawhi. I'm sorry. Kawhi's my guy though. But that's what I would do.
Interesting. I was not expecting that. That
All right,
came out of left field.
I'll take this. I'm starting KD. I'm benching LeBron, and I'm cutting Kawhi. For the simple fact with KD, I mean, it's KD. The guy gives you everything you need. He's a killer. Offensive end, defensive end. LeBron, floor general, comes off the bench, get everybody in line, run your offense, get everybody together in the defensive end. And with Kawhi, I mean, those guys just do everything a lot better than he does. So that's that simple for me.
All right.
So
Coach, you want to go?
I got Braun's gonna start. He's the best player there, so he's gonna start.
Yes, he is.
And then off the bench, I gotta go with KD. He's a unicorn, 7 feet tall, can handle the ball, can shoot it. He showed last year when he was with the Warriors, he showed that he could play defense. So he oftentimes was playing the 5, protecting the rim. When he wants to strap up, he can strap up. And he's not afraid to take the last shot. So the reason why I wouldn't start KD and bench Braun, because even though I think Braun is the best player, I think he's worried about his place in legacy. So he second guesses a lot of times taking the last shot. He's a great basketball player in the sense where he wants to always make the right play, which is great. Like as a coach, like you want players like that who want to make the right play, the basketball play. That's perfect. But in the same breath, when I need a bucket, I don't give a fuck what my legacy is, nothing. That's what separates Jordan and Kobe and those guys from, in my opinion, LeBron, because those guys, they can be 1 for 25 and they're going to shoot the last shot, right? So I think KD is more in that tier of players where, in a sense, whereas he can be 1 for 30 and if he has a mismatch, he's going to take the shot, right? So that's just my preference and my opinion, but can't really go wrong between KD and Braun. Kawhi, he gets the short end of the stick just because he's always hurt. So I can't really put him up with guys who are proven. Like even though Kawhi he's a proven player in the last year and the finals run, but what Braun has done over his career and his prime is unmatched between those three. And we've seen KD is he's a unique specimen. Like, I don't think anybody in their prime, any player in their prime can stop KD. 7 feet tall, shoot the ball over his head, can handle the ball, can put you on the block, can spread you out, can dish it. Like, can't really stop it. Even Kawhi, as great as the defender he is, if KD wants to put the ball in the bucket,
in the shot off, yeah.
so.
Joseph, essay, whichever one.
All right. So, unfortunately, I'm cutting Kawhi. That's why I didn't want to have this conversation. But, yeah, unfortunately, I'm cutting Kawhi. I'm starting KD and I'm benching Bron because KD doesn't need load management. Bron needs it, whether he wants to admit it or not. He does. Don't. He does. He called out Kawhi on load managing, and then his groin injury came back. But that's another topic. And also, and this is gonna anger some people, KD is more of a killer than LeBron. So,
I mean, that's not questionable.
No, not
yeah.
that.
Oh,
yeah,
No one's gonna question it. Like no
Yeah,
one's gonna.
no.
All I know is that SA looked directly at MJ's screen when he said that because he was.
But yeah. I'll start. I will. LeBron is a leader. LeBron is a floor manager, and LeBron keeps the team together. So that's more effective on the bench. Or he can extend it to coming off the bench, and KD can just focus on just being cold and being an assassin. And that's it.
Yeah.
Just do what he got to do, especially in the fourth quarter. Plus, he can make free throws. But anyways, Joseph, what do you have to say?
Why'd you have to add the free throws? Yo.
Damn. Might as well just cut LeBron at this point.
Just saying, like, why you free throws, load man.
Jeez.
I just think of it like what we were saying before with their primes. So I think of like prime KD, prime Bron, and prime Kawhi, which I think was like the 1 year that they beat Miami. I think was his prime, and I want to say when the Raptors beat Warriors, he was like kind of prime-ish or like
Only
going.
played like what 60 games that year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like in those 60 games, he played well. And this year, he didn't even play that many games now. But I feel like when he's playing consistently, it's like he's getting better. It seems like he's getting better. Like he's doing other things. But I'm definitely gonna cut Kawhi just because I feel like I was saying before he basically doesn't bring anything new to the table. I know that sounds horrible to say it like that, but start LeBron, bring KD off the bench because instant offense can take the lunch, can get it back whenever he wants to. So those two basically on the court in the fourth quarter, I gotta say, like, you're not gonna stop them. Like LeBron's gonna find KD, KD's gonna find LeBron. Like there's really not like who are you gonna choose to guard? Like you can make LeBron give up the ball and then
They'd be the best duo ever.
That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking like I'm like a kid, right? So I'm thinking about like how it would look like in an all-star game. Like these guys are just throwing lobs to each other, like stripping people of the ball, leak out, dunk. Like another leak out.
Prime Bron and prime KD would be
the best duo ever.
Unmatched.
That'd be the best duo ever. Like above Jordan and Pippen.
These guys are just
Shaq and Kobe. Maybe the best duo ever.
They're
in my opinion.
Go around.
even though I'm a Kobe fan, I want to put out there, but that'd be tough.
Yeah, that's my choice, 100%.
And
Sean, you
for
agree
me,
with that?
Huh?
You agree with that? Best duo ever?
Agree with what?
KD and LeBron being the best duo ever?
Like in their primes.
In their prime?
Yo,
we know that SA is gonna say. We know SA is gonna say Kawhi and KD.
I need to hear him and Panther answer this question.
Bro, like think of I don't understand LeBron in like 2012, bro, when he was 5% body fat, bro. Come on,
that was a prime Bron.
Yo, first of all, when you start bringing
Miami,
When you start bringing in body fat, I don't want to hear the conversation.
Bro, nah, man. This guy in Miami was scary, bro.
He had a lot more help though in Miami. I think prime LeBron is 2016.
You think his prime LeBron is the
Down 3-1.
like that?
Down
Sorry,
2016
that's
Bron.
that year, yeah.
Yeah, down 3-1 Braun was something else, bro. Honestly, and
I just don't know.
Think about it, I think the year before when they lost,
2015,
when they lost, right?
And he had injured player. I think he was scared. I think he was better that year personally.
Maybe, yeah.
He had to
didn't
do
win
a lot of lifting
Because he only had Dellavedova.
Yeah, Dellavedova and freaking
J.R. Smith,
Mozgov, or freaking max contract. How?
I know.
I mean, like,
because that was prime Mozgov.
Those that know me know that.
This guy said prime Mozgov. We are not gonna let that slide by. Hold on a second.
It was two prime players trying to take on the Warriors.
Senator, before you answer that question, I just want to I think Kawhi's prime was the year he got injured by Golden State. I think that's when he was
by Zaza.
Yeah, I think that's when he was on his peak.
Because if he didn't get injured, just imagine what he would have done.
Bro,
that's the thing. I don't think that's prime. I think that's on his way to prime.
They were going to win the series.
They were down 20 though.
Yeah, they were.
Wait, who?
Spurs were down.
No, they were up, bro.
No, the Spurs were up. They were up 20. They were up 20. They were up 20.
Boxing them. Like, it was bad.
And then the momentum shifted when he came out the game. They were up big.
That's why they unleashed the Zaza.
He was killing them.
They were up big. He was on a roll. Kawhi was on a roll. They was getting buckets. He was on a roll.
I don't think that was his final form, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think
that was his prime, though.
He's had to. No, it wasn't. It wasn't his prime. It was honest. I don't think we'll ever know what his prime is because now he has to adjust to injury. But I think had he not been injured, I think he still had a ways to go to reach his prime. He was what, 22, 23 at that time? At that point?
That injury, he was really 24, 25.
Yeah, I think we need to revisit that playoff run.
Maybe slightly below his prime.
Like the Raptors playoff run to really look at how good he is.
Yeah, but okay, my bad.
Games.
My bad.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Good conversation. For me, it would be start KD, LeBron come off the bench, and cut Kawhi. Honestly, to tell you the truth, though, one of the big things is for me is because we have not actually seen what Kawhi's prime is. I think if we were able to see what Kawhi's prime is, my thought process would be a little bit different because of what I see him take when I see him take over defensively of a game, it's a whole nother level. And when his offense really started to click, it was a different thing. Like watching the playoff run that he had with Toronto last year, some of those games, it was him taking on 4 players. He didn't care. He was determined to get this bucket. He was getting this bucket. Going off of the conversation that we had earlier and saying Westbrook having this, I don't care, I'm going to go get you a bucket thing. That's how Kawhi was playing last year when he did play. It was, I'm going to stop your best player and I'm going to put buckets on their heads, right? So, I think if we were able to see the healthy prime Kawhi, it might have changed my opinion, but because we have not actually seen that and we probably will never actually see what a healthy prime Kawhi is, I have to go KD to start and LeBron coming off the bench. Also, LeBron just playing Westbrook just is a different thing because then I think LeBron would take the ball out of Westbrook's hands a little bit, so he wouldn't be as crazy as he needed to be, going back to our earlier conversation. So next start, bench cut, real quick. Luka, Ja, or Trae Young?
Oh, shoot. Whoa. Oh, man, this is going to get disrespectful.
All right, I'm gonna start this.
Yes, please.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna start Luka. I'm going to. I'm gonna.
Yo, you made Joseph put up.
I'm a bench. I'm gonna bench Ja, and I'm gonna cut Trae.
Smart.
With Luka, I mean, he's an offensive powerhouse. The kid's he's a proven playmaker. I mean, the length, he can pretty much do it all. He can give you anything you need. With John Morant, the explosiveness off the bench, he's gonna give you those buckets when you need them. And I just love the kid's intensity. And with Trae Young, I mean, we know he's a great shooter. But outside of that, I would say on the defensive end, he's a little limited. I think Jaws is a better defender than he is. And I just think with those two, you don't need a guy like Trae Young on your squad.
Joseph, you went into security mode.
Yo, because I thought he was gonna cut like John Morant or something. I was like, oh man, this is wild. Like, I'm gonna start John Morant.
Right up.
The next one is hard because like I'm looking like.
Is it really though?
People off the bench. I'm usually looking for like offense mostly, and like maybe a little bit of defense because you're guarding like the bench guys. It's hard because Trae Young is small, but he gets a lot of buckets. But Luka's like a big guy, but I don't really know. I don't know if Luka's like a defensive guy like that. I haven't seen that much Luka Doncic. I'm gonna admit. I know he's amazing, but like I feel like he's a ball handler and Jaws. Nah, you know what? I'm making a spicy take. John Morant, you're starting. Trae Young off the bench. Hey, I'm sorry, Luka.
Forgive him, Father. You know
Luka, we love you, Luka.
There's always one. There's always one.
I'm sorry. Listen, I just feel like if I have him, because he's basically like a Magic Johnson type player to me. Like he's just getting everyone. But I feel like with Ja, I have obviously not someone like that, but I have someone who's passing, scoring, doing all that stuff. And Trae Young coming off the bench, I know he's going to get hot, regardless of anything. Even if he's sitting for like half of the game, I know he's coming in there. He's dropping at least like 5 threes. I already know that.
I think for me, I'm going to start Ja. I'm going to bench Luka. And I'm going to cut Trae Young. And the reason why I say that is because to me, I think Luka can start, can bench, it doesn't matter. Yeah. He's going to do what he's going to do regardless of who he's facing. And I think the competition might even be a little bit easier with him facing bench players compared to the starter players, even though he drops buckets and he gets assists on starters. But I like Ja's never back down attitude.
Yeah.
And to me, I feel like he will bring an intensity to start the game. Luka brings a smoothness to keep or extend the lead. And then for me, the only reason why I would cut Trae is just because I don't think he brings what the other two players bring. So to me, it was not as hard to cut Trae compared to Joseph. So
yeah, I love Trae, man.
To me, the easiest cut is Trae. So he's cut. So now it comes down to who would I rather start and who would I rather bench. So I'd rather have Ja coming off the bench for the same reasons I had Westbrook come off the bench, just because their energy is just infectious. Their energy is like they can take a second unit and make them play outside of themselves. Whereas Luka, I guess he can do that because he's a pro, but I just feel Luka he'll thrive more for me as a starter, as come off the bench. I don't see him being like infectious and like and like getting his team like like motivated. Like I don't see that from him, right? So, and then as a closer, Ja has an element that Luka doesn't have, his athleticism. So Luka can shoot the ball well. His step back is king. He's step back king, whatever you want to call him. But he can shoot the ball. He can get guy. He can create and stuff. But I think Ja's athleticism gives him the advantage to close the game. So getting to the free throw line, getting to the rim, getting into the teeth of the defense, kicking it out, finding shooters and stuff. And he's a willing passer, right? So So I start Luca, bench Jaw, and Trey is like a mini Steph Curry who can't play defense. So
Facts.
Yo, you guys are just taking a shot at Joseph's guy over there.
Oh,
It's
man.
crazy. It's crazy.
Listen, because I'm a small
I knew he was
guard.
gonna be on that island by himself. I already knew that.
See, he knows me well. Because I'm a small guard, so I rate guards that can play with the big guys, right? Obviously, you're not going to be locking down anyone, but you can move your feet. Trae Young can move his feet.
Not on defense.
Like 20 years old, man. Come on, man.
I'm following suit. Trey's gone. I'll start Luca, and then Jaw's coming off the bench. Luca's a bit more experience. I think he also needs maybe a bit more to get a flow going than Jaw. Jaw doesn't care. He doesn't care who you are. He doesn't care where he is. He's balling out. If you're LeBron, he's gonna try to dunk on you, and if he misses, he's gonna try again.
Yeah.
Right? He doesn't care. Look at the post he just did about like what to put on the jerseys. Right? Like he and this man's going in the bubble. Like he doesn't care. So that energy is great out because if I start him, if I put him off the bench, I think if I put Luka off the bench, it's gonna change his game a bit. But I think Jaw, whether he's starting or on the bench, he's just gonna do what he's got to do. So that's the safest bet is just to start Luka and have Jaw come off the bench.
MJ?
I'm starting Luca. He's the best overall player out of the three. He's the bigger player too, so I'm starting him. Trae Young is coming off the bench for me.
Ooh.
I just think that he's a better playmaker. He's a better shooter than Jaw. Jaw's also a rookie. We don't know how he's going to be the second season. If you guys look at Trey's numbers to start this season, they're absolutely incredible for a second-year player. So
what's their team record?
I don't care about team record. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm talking individually. You put Trae Young on a winning team, he's gonna do damage. He can shoot from anywhere, and he could drop 30 easily if he wanted to. He's a better playmaker than Jaw. I don't know if Jaw's able to do what he's doing now in his second season, then I'll have a different opinion. But as of right now, I'm cutting Jaw. Trey's off the bench, and I'm starting Luka.
Okay. All right, we got a few more, so let's get through them. Start bench cut. Reggie, Clay, or Ray Allen?
Reggie Miller?
Yep.
Okay.
Reggie Miller, Clay Thompson, Ray Allen. Start bench cut.
So my only question is, are we basing it off their shooting ability or them as a player?
Them as a player.
Because as a player, the best player there in their prime is Ray Allen. Jesus Shuttlesworth. He's the best player there in their prime.
Agreed.
No argument here.
But the best shooter there is Klay Thompson.
Facts.
Yeah.
And the best closer is Reggie Miller. So I have a conundrum.
You are putting too much into this. We did not do all of this. We did not do all of this for LeBron, KD, Kawhi. We didn't do all this for Curry, Westbrook, Kyrie. We didn't do all of this for let's just go.
Conundrum.
Reggie, Clay.
I'll just be safe. I'll be safe. I'm going to start Klay Thompson, bigger guard. He can play both sides of the court. Doesn't need the ball in his hands. In this NBA, he can spread the court. He can shoot the ball. He's not a selfish player. So he can play with stars, play without stars. So he'd be my starter. And my bench guy would probably be Ray Allen, just because of his proven ability to put the ball on the ground, shoot the ball, move without the ball in his hands. So he doesn't need the ball. Like Reggie did that as well, but I think just Ray Allen's ability to put the ball on the ground and be a threat off the dribble is more impressive to me than Reggie Miller catching, shooting it, or playing mid post. So yeah, that'll be my three, or my way how I put it. But that's tough.
I agree with Francis on this one. I can even start. I can even have Clay off the bench because like he really doesn't care what he just wants to shoot the ball. To be honest, so but I would start Clay, Ray off the bench, and yeah, Reggie has to go. Reggie's my guy, but he has to go. But yeah, he is the best closer out of the three for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. Reggie, Ray Allen, and Clay Thompson, I guess starting or benching them, they're interchangeable to me. So I would start Ray Allen. I mean, he's one of the best shooters of all time. I would say Clay Thompson for sure. He loves playing within the offense. He picks his spots well on the floor. He's just a great team guy. And that's the type of people you need coming off the bench. And he just can give you buckets. And, I mean, I love Reggie Miller. Up there, one of the greatest shooters. But Reggie Miller, you got to get cut.
Okay.
I'm starting Ray Allen. Have Clay off the bench, and Reggie can commentate the game from the score table.
Damn.
Wow.
That's disrespectful. That's disrespectful.
Hey, that's what he does now. So,
All right, Joseph, what you got?
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the same thing. Ray Allen, start. Clay off the bench. He doesn't really need the ball. He doesn't even really need to dribble, to be honest. He just.
That's true. That's facts.
That one game he had 13 dribbles and had
yeah.
Come on. Give me more of that.
It was definitely under 15 dribbles. It's crazy.
Yeah, give me more than that. Reggie, yeah, he's a great closer, man. Like Francis was saying, but gotta get him out of here, man.
I think I agree with you guys with Ray Allen starting, Clay off the bench, and Reggie getting cut. But because we were pretty much all in agreement on this one of who we're starting and benching, or the two players that are going to start and bench, I think we should mix it up and really get into a difficult one. Okay? Start, bench, cut. Brandon Roy, Tracy McGrady, or Grant Hill. So once again, start, bench, cut. Brandon Roy, Tracy McGrady, Grant Hill.
Damn.
Jeez. I'm cutting Brandon Roy. And
we're talking about all of these players in their prime.
Yeah.
I know. I feel like you didn't get a chance to see Brandon Roy in his actual prime, to be honest. They spoke very highly about Grant Hill. They said he was the next Michael Jordan. He was pretty disgusting when he had his time. I'm starting Grant Hill. I'm having T-Mac off the bench, and I'm cutting Brandon.
All right. Go ahead, Francis.
Huh?
Oh, Francis, you want to go, or you're still contemplating?
I would say it's kind of tough because Kobe said Brandon Roy is one of the best players he ever played in his life.
Yeah.
He said he has no weaknesses. Kobe is my favorite player. So I look at that, and then I look at people saying Grant Hill was next Michael Jordan.
Okay, but what does Kobe say about T-Mac?
He said he was probably the hardest to guard.
Yeah.
But then you look at Penny. He's probably out of the three guys there. He's the only guy to beat Jordan in the playoffs. Right. So with that being said, I'm going to start Grant Hill just because he's been consistent in being great. Like him at Duke, him playing through Detroit. Even when he was playing in Phoenix and he was hurt, he's putting up numbers. Him in Orlando, he's putting up numbers. Like, he's been consistent. So the only thing that's just been like, if he never had an ankle injury or repeated ankle injury, I think he would have been, great. And then you look at Penny Hardaway. He's a big guard, but a lot of his buckets were a byproduct of him having Shaq in the post.
But Penny's not on the list.
It's Tracy McGrady.
Tracy McGrady. It's T-Mac.
Yeah.
It's T-Mac, Brandon Roy, and Grant Hill.
Oh, well then T-Mac's still cut. I got Grant Hill. I don't know why I heard Penny. Damn. But yeah,
You're making a comparison. I thought he was going somewhere.
Yeah, I
with
thought
it.
he was comparing like.
I thought he was comparing them.
I was
And
like,
Grant,
oh, okay.
I thought we were doing
Do
some kind of
yourself off
comparison
with that one. Yeah.
No. It's still the same. T-Mac is in the same boat as Penny Hardaway. So I got Grant Hill, and since Kobe Bryant said Brandon Roy has no weaknesses, that's what I gotta go with. I'm cutting T-Mac.
All right, for me, I think I'm gonna have to cut Brandon Roy just for the simple fact is we were robbed of just seeing how great he could have been. I mean, he was a great player at the time, but I just feel like it was just cut short. Unfortunately, we will never know what he could have been. I'm gonna start Grant Hill. I was fortunate enough to watch him through the years, watched him on Duke, watched him through multiple stints in different teams in the NBA. I mean, Grant Hill in his prime, he can give you everything before his injuries. He can give you everything. This guy was a high flyer. He was a playmaker. He played within the team, offense, defense, all-around player. He was all around. T-Mac comes off the bench. I mean, we all know T-Mac's resume. We know what T-Mac does. We know the type of killer he is. I feel like T-Mac would just be instant offense off the bench. And T-Mac, to me, I mean, you could argue the fact that early in his career, like Orlando, and he wasn't really a team guy. He was kind of shoot first. Let me worry about what happens after. But as he progressed, I would say when he got to Houston, you started to see him kind of flourish a little bit within that team dynamic. So I think he'd be good off the bench.
Joseph, Essay, either yours?
You can go, yeah. Sure.
All right. One of my favorite commercials was Kevin against pretty much the entire city, the And One commercial, KG, and that's because KG can take whatever comes his way. He's a force to be reckoned with, and I'm definitely going to start him. Brandon Roy and T-Mac is very hard. Again, unfortunately, we didn't get to see much of what Brandon Roy could have brought to the NBA, but for after the little he was able to show Kobe, who doesn't hand out compliments that much, saying this man has no weaknesses. I know he said T-Mac's hard to guard, but no weaknesses. I'm giving Brandon Roy a shot off the bench. Straight up.
Yo, Sean, who you starting?
I'm starting KG.
It's Grant Hill.
I'm glad I wasn't the only one.
Where you guys getting these players from?
This guy's racist, yo.
I was letting it go. I was letting it go.
I was like, yo, is anyone going to tell him?
Y'all looked at me.
One commercial.
Y'all knew about the commercial I was talking about.
I was waiting because I was like, yo, is anyone going to tell him?
And none of y'all can say something.
Like, no,
I know MJ was gonna say something, but he's like just sitting back there. He's like, I'm just gonna let him.
Yeah,
because MJ's an asshole.
Like, yo, did nobody else hear that? Like, what am I missing?
No, I heard it.
Appreciate you, man. Hey.
Okay, Grant. I'll still start Grant. I'll still start Grant.
Okay.
Jeez.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
This is what's going to make the podcast one of the best podcasts out there. Okay? We got so many basketball players that we can think of. We just drop names in categories they don't even belong in.
Swapping players.
That's how good KG is.
Yeah,
I wanted to step in and say Francis too. I'm like, yo, bro, that's the wrong jersey you're thinking about, bro. McGrady at the back, not Hardaway.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Same number.
In my head, I was actually trying to connect the two that Penny Hardaway and T-Mac were both guards, like primarily ball handler guards. So like that's what I was connecting, but I killed his wine, right? So.
But also, when you switched over to Penny and you didn't really start him, you should have saw MJ's face throughout that because that's like his favorite player. So he was like, "Wait, this guy's not even in the category." And you
Wait, I
still
missed
cut him.
Penny? I was like, I missed Penny. I was like, oh my goodness, I have to start this whole thing over.
Joseph, who you start benching and cutting? And let me say the names again: Grant Hill.
I got them. Don't worry, I got them. All right, this is ginger ale, guys. All right, it's not beer. It's ginger ale. All right, I'm gonna piss off my whole generation age group, but I'm gonna cut T Mac for the simple fact that
He dissed Toronto.
Facts.
even that too, but like
Cockeyed Steve Harvey suit.
there was
wearing.
like an interview where there was like an interview saying that he like didn't go hard in practice, like he only played serious in games and stuff. Like that was a red flag. Even when I was reading it, I was like, why are you like that? Like, play hard all the time. Two,
Okay.
this guy's never been past first round, man. Like, let's just get that out of here. I can't trust someone who every
He has still.
Hmm?
He has.
The Spurs.
the Spurs. That does not count. No, stop it.
That's a count.
Right?
Why
That was
doesn't it
not
count?
who. No, because
Why
when he
doesn't it
checked in
count?
the finals, that was not the Tracy McGrady that we watched growing up. That was some other guy.
It looked like the
Baggy
same guy.
suit. That was the guy in the baggy suit, the chopper suit. That was not T-Vac, bro. But yeah, just like that, and he just. I won't say he's not a closer, but I just feel like I don't need him if I am starting Grant Hill and bringing Brandon Roy off the bench. Brandon Roy, I have to put him in there because our favorite crazy madman, Ron Artest, said, and this was in Ron Artest prime. This is when he was on Houston. And he said that the two hardest people to guard for him, or the three, I think he said it was Kobe, it was Brandon Roy, and some next 16-year-old kid that he said got shot. So I'm going to go with Ron Artest because this guy has had to guard, I think he's guarded Michael Jordan, LeBron James.
He's guard Kobe and Jordan.
Yeah, so he's guarded. I'm going to trust someone like that because
Really?
Roy, come on, man. Brandon Roy.
You're gonna trust a man? Okay.
Of course. Yo, listen, he's completely bonkers, but he is a
As long as you know that part.
yeah, of course. He's crazy. But
You know he took his wife's last name, right?
100%. Listen, Ron Artest.
Time the friend.
Exactly, man.
This guy's trying to give you every reason to not believe him, man.
No, because Brandon Roy is. Listen, and anyone who's ever played 2K knows Brandon Roy was a cheat code in that game for one, and two, just seeing him I don't really. I think I can't remember who was saying before. We haven't really seen him in his prime, but just what we saw from him, especially when he was injured, for a guy to be, I think 6'7", not athletic at all, not really. He doesn't really have a crazy handle. He just gets to his spots, and he just scores. You have to have someone like that, right? And G Hill, I got to start him for the simple fact that one, he was supposed to be the next big guy, and two, before he got hurt, this guy was giving Michael Jordan and Pippen and those guys a lot of trouble.
Giving him buckets, man.
And I think, and I know it's going to be a wildly spicy take, but him because in that era, no one was really doing crossovers. He was doing that on MJ and stuff. And these guys were lost. They didn't know.
Cross.
Yeah. And it wasn't the AI cross, but it was an in and out, a Tim Hardaway, and he was getting people So I'm gonna start G-Hill, Brandon off the bench, and we're gonna cut Mr. Adidas. Get him out of here, man.
And to be honest, I'm going with the same thing. I'm going to start Grant Hill. I'm going to bench Brandon Roy and cut T-Mac. Now, I'm about to introduce this topic, and then I got to step away for 2 seconds, and it's going to be a long enough topic that I can get back and you guys will still be talking about it.
It's gonna be madness.
So, here we go. Start, bench, cut. Kobe, Jordan, LeBron.
Oh, God.
All right. Okay, for me, personally, Michael Jordan is my favorite player of all time. Michael Jordan has to start for me. He's the GOAT. There
Facts.
shouldn't be any question about this.
Facts.
We all know Michael's resume. We know the championships. We know all the accolades. We know the All-Stars, MVPs. Michael Jordan should be starting at anyone's team. I mean, the next two, this is where you kind of get into little interesting stuff here.
Oh, really?
I would say,
She's like, oh, really? Yeah.
I would say I would have Kobe off the bench.
Hey.
Kobe's my second favorite player. And, I mean, again, the list goes on and on with a guy like Kobe Bryant. And we know that he's an offensive juggernaut. So coming off the bench, that could be 40, that could be 50, that could be 60 off the bench.
81.
And we know he's going to be able to play within the flow of the game. We know he'll be able to rally the team. We know he'll be able to get the offense and the defense clicking on both ends of the floor. So that, for me, he would be a staple on the bench for sure. And the cut.
Say it.
That's it.
Say his name.
Who you cutting?
Say his
I'm
name.
not sure if you heard the three names, bro. Who you cutting?
I didn't. Who's the other thing?
Oh no! This guy said, "Who was it?"
I don't know. I don't remember. Who was it?
All right, I'm gonna jump in.
Say his name.
Yo, MJ, calm down, man. How are you getting so aggravated?
So,
I'm gonna jump in. So look, I'm gonna preface my statements by saying this: Kobe is my favorite player of all time.
Oh no.
Of all time.
Oh no.
Okay. But if I'm being very black and white and very, open about it, the best closer is Jordan. Best closer of all time.
facts.
That's facts. So Jordan is coming off the bench for me. He might be
Off the bench?
Off the bench.
Oh, come again?
Ooh, damn.
He is the greatest closer of all time. So I have to have someone who's a close the game for me. As I said before, Braun is not that guy.
No.
However you want to cut it, he's not that guy. So, and Kobe is Jordan light,
Yep.
right? So I have to have Jordan off the bench as my closer. Now starter, even though Kobe is my guy, I have to start Braun.
Jeez.
Yo, stop the show, bro. We good. You don't need to hear anything else.
I will never say the
Kobe,
name.
yes. To me, Kobe's better than Braun.
Yes.
To me, Kobe is better than Braun, but
You
Braun
don't need
gives
to
you
hear
the
that
intangibles that he possess.
Yep.
He's gonna get guys involved. He's gonna be a team player. He's gonna be a great teammate. Jordan wasn't known for being a great teammate. Neither is Kobe. So Braun is gonna bring guys along like that. So for me, even though I have Kobe better than Braun, I just think Braun brings intangibles that neither of those guys possess as a starter. And I start Braun, bench Jordan, and I'd have Kobe be a GM or something. I can't cut him. So.
What? You have to.
Not this baby.
There's no other options here. Let's get the three options. No options here. You're saying you're cutting Kobe Bryant. That's what you said. You're cutting Kobe. All right. Just so we're on the same
Just in
page.
comparison to the three, I got him.
All right. Okay.
It's getting hot in here.
MJ, what you got?
Listen, I hated Kobe, but I also loved Kobe at the same time. But I'm gonna have to start LeBron. Michael Jordan's coming off the bench, and I can't cut Kobe, so he's gonna be the water boy.
Kobe would rather be cut.
That's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth.
He would be the greatest water boy ever.
Ever.
It would always be cold. The greatest. But yeah, I have to cut Kobe still. I have to cut him.
Well, we know who the clear villains are of this podcast. They drew a line right down. The line is drawn right down the middle.
That's
Ah.
crazy.
All
That's
right,
what I love
Joseph,
Kobe, though.
essay.
You want to take this one or you want me?
All
right.
I'll go ask.
So there's a father. That's Jordan. There's a son. That's Kobe. And there's a Holy Ghost who shouldn't be on the hardwood. And that's LeBron James.
I was so confused where that was going because like
I was like, oh, LeBron's the Holy Spirit.
I thought he was just gonna say, and there's a ghost, but he even called him a Holy Ghost. Like,
Yeah.
Listen, LeBron's a great, phenomenal player. That's not a debate. They all are. And yes, out of the three, the best team player is LeBron. Out of the three, right? LeBron's not gonna fight anybody in the practice. LeBron's not gonna. Well, at least I don't think he will let people feel like trash. However,
unless you're J.R. Smith in the finals.
Yeah, that's true. Kenny Smith. However, when it comes to fourth quarter, Game 7 finals, last shot, 5 seconds left on the clock, 3 seconds, a millisecond left on the clock. Who do I want on the floor and the ball in their hands? Jordan first, Kobe second. And for LeBron, if it's a free throw, it's not even a question. So, with that being, so I'm sorry, and I will say his name. I will cut LeBron James.
Jeez.
No reaction. All right.
Next question.
Joseph.
No, man. I think I'm gonna start Kobe. Off the bench, and honestly, it's been real.
Yes.
Oh, hold on a second. Whoa.
Yes. No. It's
I have a
okay.
reason for it. Don't worry. It's not
Let
like
the man speak.
I know anyone who's heard me go on rants about Michael Jordan like Sean has. Listen, I love MJ. I think he's one of the greatest players of all time. But I just feel like Kobe is like, as you guys would say, like Jordan Light, or like I call it Jordan Remix. So I feel like I have him there and I have LeBron there. I have the best of both worlds. I got LeBron to distribute and keep everyone from killing each other. And I have Kobe to just focus on putting up 50 shots a game. Or as many shots as he's need to for us to win that game.
MJ.
Just quickly,
I think he's talking about this MJ that's in this podcast right now, not like Michael Jordan that actually plays. Like
no.
Like, are you trying to win a ring, or are you trying to let everybody get along and sing Kumbaya? What's really the goal here?
Kobe and LeBron wouldn't win a ring? Wait a minute.
No. But everybody's like, LeBron will make sure people won't tear each other apart.
Like,
I get it. He's a friendly team player. I get it.
Not even that. Like, he can bring. I will say this. He like you know how Greg Popovich brings out the best with what he has. I feel like LeBron has that too. Like we saw that play like 2009 before he left Cleveland the first time. We saw that. Like he had like Mo Williams and like that other dude, the power forward Hickson, who like got like gun charges. Like he had these random guys who like half aren't even in the NBA anymore, and like he dragged these guys. Like,
hey man, Mo Williams dropped 50 in the game.
So I'm saying, man, like,
Mo Will did drop 52 on the Timberwolves. But can I just ask you a question? Why Kobe over Mike?
Why? You know, I want to say I feel like it's biased because I didn't watch Michael Jordan grow up. I watched like Kobe, like, and Kobe, to me, I mean, I won't like a lot of the young guys now when you hear them like, "Yo, Kobe was like my god." It wasn't like that, but I was just like looking at him. I was like, "Yo, this guy he's like MJ, like he's like Michael Jordan, but like everything he does just has like a bit more swagger to it. Like he's just very like." I don't know, man. I feel like it's just because it's like this era now, whereas like, and I'm seeing him doing it against like my favorite players. Like he's like doing against Iverson, he's doing against LeBron, he's doing against like T-Mac, like he's doing against all of these guys, and he's doing it like in a very like raw way. Like he's not really bending over for anyone. He's just like, yo, this is Kobe. I'm gonna win this game how I want to win this game. And he has an 81-point game. So
All right.
what's wrong with that? Like,
As for me, I'm just gonna
I
keep
love
it,
Jordan.
As for me, I'm just gonna keep it simple. I'm starting Jordan. I'm benching LeBron. I'm cutting Kobe. And I'm not gonna give any reasons why. That's just what I'm doing.
He's trying to get out of here intact.
So wait.
I literally just said I'm not giving a reason why. This conversation's over. I'm not answering follow-up questions.
Yo,
like
it's like the Jamaican father, yo. Period. End of story.
LeBron, right?
what?
Huh?
Only 2 people cut LeBron,
Facts. Yeah.
Yeah.
and
What
it's
you
the
guys
Raptor fans.
Yo, that has nothing to do with it.
MJ, don't do that. MJ,
just
don't do it just so happens to be the Raptors fans, yes, but don't do that.
Well, I'm a Raptors fan, and I didn't cut LeBron. So that just
Your
makes it
argument,
work.
your argument's flawed.
Yeah, Kobe dropped 81
Let's
on
chill
a head
out.
top. You don't see me getting upset about it.
All right. So here's a next good question to ask everybody, and I think I have the right people to ask. Which two-peat was the best? Lakers, Heat, or Warriors?
Which Lakers?
The
Two-peat. Oh,
two-peat. The 2009, 2010. The two-peat.
Oh, okay, that one.
Yeah. Or the Heat, or the Warriors.
It's definitely not the Warriors. Oh, shit. That Laker one. I don't know. They beat Orlando. Shit, Miami.
I gotta go Miami. Yeah.
Miami.
Yeah, I was leaning towards Miami as well. I have to agree with that one.
If Lakers played Cavs that year and beat Cleveland, then I would have picked Lakers because they ended up beating Boston as well.
Boston and
beating Orlando. No, I gotta go with Miami
with trash Dwight Howard.
And Miami.
Listen.
Miami.
Wait a second.
So.
Dwight Howard was playing.
Orlando
really
lost
well
because
that
of
year.
Van Gundy. Okay.
That's
And the Boston is Dwight Howard trash.
Okay. Alston was going off, and he only played one game in the finals, and that was the one game they won. And then brought
back in.
That's a Van Gundy fault. That's not a.
It is. It is. But Miami were the underdogs in both those finals, and were able to win. I don't know why they were underdogs, but they were. So I would say
So
that's
who has Miami right now?
I do.
I think Dewayne and
S.A. Joseph, do you guys have different takes?
I'm gonna say Lakers. Yeah, I'm gonna say the Lakers. Lakers 2P, yeah.
What about you, S.A.? Or
I'm gonna go. Oh no, Joe, you want to add some spice?
I was
gonna add some spice to it. That's what he was about to do.
People are like, yo, Lakers, like, nah, because like one, it was a revenge tour for them in 09, I think, because I think Boston beat them in 08.
Mm-hmm.
He breaks off them. Like that, 100%. That I think that picture of Kobe standing in the middle of the Boston arena with all the confetti, like after they lost, I was like, man, they need to run this back again. And them going through the playoffs, like, and you know it's the West, and like it was wild. So them getting all the way back there to beat them in that crazy, I think it was Game 7. Pretty sure it was Game 7.
Yeah, it was a 7-game series.
Yeah, them to do all that and get revenge, and then come back the next year against an Orlando team that basically was embarrassing a lot of the older teams, if we're being real. Like, because they're like how they're like the prototype, like how G State is, where it's just like one guy in the middle, like one big, if you want to call it big, and then like swinging it out to all these tall shooters, and they're just all knocking down threes and ball movement. So I feel like the Lakers running into that team, which is like no team they had really been playing like in the playoffs, and were able to just beat them. I just made all that sweeter. So and that iconic moment with Matt Barnes and and Kobe. That's the same series.
Yeah.
The ball fake. Yo, come on.
That was the finals.
Yeah. See, come on, MJ. Yeah, man, that was
That
fun.
happened in the finals. Oh
Yeah,
damn.
man. That was when Kobe had the crazy switch layup over Dwight Howard, man. That was a good series, man.
It's hard for me to give it to Miami when they had the Monsters. Like it's true, they were the underdog. I don't know why. To this day, I don't know why. But that doesn't change the fact that
he lost the year before. That's why.
No, I meant like they with the weapons they had, they shouldn't have been. But
It's guys like you that don't rate LeBron that had them as underdog.
Okay, fun fact. I wanted. Right, I don't rate a man who does a 1 hour special.
Hey, that was for the kids. Cut it out. Cut it out.
to go recruit Ocean's 5 to win a championship. All right, yeah, I don't rate that, but Lakers were more hard fought. Lakers didn't have as many nuclear weapons as Miami did. The very reason we don't give Warriors credit because why? Like it was a walkthrough two-peat. Miami had to fight for it a bit more, but like Lakers had something to prove and they proved it straight up. I know Orlando that finals was a wash, but at the same time, why? Nelson was injured, right?
Hey, that playoff run, Orlando was
crazy.
Freezing through teams. They were destroying.
They boxed Boston
because of Skip to my Lou.
Bro,
their team was deep. The team was pretty deep.
Again, they robbed us of.
That was a very talented Orlando team.
I was like, yo, Skip to my Lou's about to do one for Street Ballers and add one over. And then Stan Van Gundy had a food stroke and forgot what he was playing a finals. And
let's be real. They wouldn't be the Lakers, though.
Okay, but they could have been more competitive.
I think it could have gone to at least like a game.
It could have gone to game 6.
That was never going to be a Cinderella story. That was never going to be a
River Alston came in LA and took over the game.
Jason should have been a sweep. I will say this: if they beat them the first game when they missed the buzzer beat, Cornelia missed the that series would have the momentum would have completely changed. It wouldn't have changed. No. Oh man, if you go into a Staples Center and you win game 1 with that type of team, oh man.
Kobe was not losing to.
Kobe would have 70 for the next game.
He was not losing. No. That's still prime Kobe.
You said he would have 70 in the next game.
That's still prime Kobe. But can I just jump in and say if Cleveland beat Orlando that year, Cavs would have won the championship. Go on.
Oh, like if it was Kobe against LeBron.
Yeah.
You just said Kobe's not. Hold on a second.
It was
a bad matchup for the Lakers.
MJ, stop this.
Check this season.
No. 09 LeBron James was a crazy man, but that Cavs team was awful.
MJ, I know you're a disciple of King James, but come on now.
That Cavs team was really bad, bro.
I'm telling you. It would have been a better matchup than Orlando.
Oh yeah, 100. It would have been way more entertaining because we would have. You know what? I would have said this that would actually help to grow up a lot sooner.
It would have been
about right. It sounds about right, Francis.
And that one game would have been like a bloodbath. LeBron will forget his name at the end of the fourth quarter to get that one game.
All right, fair enough.
And for me, I'm gonna choose Lakers, the Lakers two-peat, and that's also because Phoenix was my team around that time, and Lakers always even every time Phoenix thought they were gonna make it to the finals and they would make a move or whatever, they were good enough to beat every other team, and then they ran up against the Lakers, and it just was not fair.
Phoenix never beat the Lakers in the playoffs.
Lost to the Spurs. I think Phoenix
beat them once. No?
They beat them once. Beat them once.
That's when Lakers were up 3-1 in the first round.
Yeah.
But Phoenix was like a 2 seed with their best roster, and Lakers started Luke Walton. So I don't want to hear that.
I'm really looking at the time where Phoenix when they had a serious chance to really make it.
They lost to Spurs.
Yeah.
They would lose to the
That was the
Spurs,
year-
lose,
that was the year-
lose to the
that was the year
Lakers.
I thought they
Lose,
were gonna win.
like it's just.
Isn't that the
The
one
Spurs,
where
the Spurs one was the worst one.
Where
Spurs one was the
Robert
worst
chucked
one.
Steve Nash.
Yo,
yeah,
into
where
the
Steve
table.
Nash got like thrown into the table or something? Oh,
Yeah.
flop.
Yeah.
If you can tell me a time
fix
where
is
Nash,
in.
if you can tell me a time when Nash does not get some sort of like crazy push
Bro,
or something like
man.
that in the playoffs, then all right.
He sold
And they
it. bro.
they
Flop.
never would
And
call
he
it.
would, and he just would never stop. He would just be back on the court. That was just him. Like,
He's a hockey player, man.
but I'm going
Canadian.
with the Lakers. I hate the Miami Heat around that time.
What they do to you?
Well, I hated the
They
fact
wasted
that they
an hour of his time.
He
on
assembled.
No, I hated the fact that they decided to have when
Nah,
everybody signed
it
there
has
and they
to-
had the big
it's
three and they
because-
did the not one, not
Not
two,
one.
not three, not four, not
No,
five,
Listen,
you
not
guys-
that's iconic.
listen.
and then they lost the first time.
Embarrassing.
Like
You guys
don't-
No, you guys were bitter because Chris Bosh left.
No.
no,
No, Bosch, honestly,
Chill.
that was the time. We were ready to get rid of Bosch, bro.
We already went through Vince,
yeah.
man. We were used to that, man. Come on.
Oh yeah.
We
I
were
had
ready to
no-
get rid of Bosch.
I had no problem with Bosch leaving. I hated,
Yeah.
like I said,
Yeah,
it
I was
that-
fine with
it
that.
was the
Yeah,
reveal
it's fine.
of everybody, and then you said that you're gonna
And the
win like
jerseys
7,
like that.
and then you lose the first one to Dirk, and then you're like, all right, we're gonna come back. That doesn't mean anything. We're gonna just run through
What
whatever,
happened?
and then Ray Allen had
What
to
happened?
save you guys on the.
Y'all forgot you
on the
needed 5
2P.
players.
Anyways, thank Ray Allen. Jesus saved you on the second one.
Ray Allen wasn't there.
Facts.
Yeah, Real was there for the second one, not the first.
I said
That's
Jesus
okay.
saved
I
you
don't
on the
do the
second
first
one.
Oh my god.
If they wouldn't be a 2-peat without Jesus. And anyways, for the last
Well,
for the last topic, and we're just gonna go into this because it was something that just recently happened. Vince Carter officially said that he is retired. So I just kind of want to go around and see what you guys' favorite Vince Carter moment was. We'll start with Dewayne, because Dewayne is, if I gotta think of a true Raptor
Oh,
fan.
man, this guy's the
Raptor fan?
VP. The VP of the Vince Carter Club.
Now look at him blush. That's crazy. Go on, bro. Have your moment. The floor is yours.
You know what? I have to say my greatest Vince Carter moment was that 2000 slam dunk competition. I think at that moment, that's when the world knew Vince Carter was a force in this league and that Toronto was going to be a team that you have to watch out for.
Yeah.
I think that's when we were put on the map. That was when it happened, that 2000 slam dunk competition. We saw a man do a 360 windmill. We saw an alley through the legs. We saw a man put his arm through a rim. We were seeing things we've never seen before. I think that's when Vince Carter kind of showed the NBA, like, this is what the peak of athleticism looks like. And
facts.
And I think every player in the league started to have a lot of respect for Vince at that moment. And I'm pretty sure a lot of guys weren't really looking at us like that before that happened. They weren't looking at our team. We were kind of a joke in the NBA for a long time. And I think once Vince kind of put himself out on that stage for the world to see, that's when the legend of Air Canada was born. And that's when everything changed for the Raptors organization. So I would say if I was going to pick one moment that solidified everything, solidified his career, I think that would be the moment we start from.
I see you with the Raptors championship.
Yes, sir.
Shirt?
Just to remind y'all. Just to remind y'all.
Has nothing to do with Vince, though.
Huh? Bro,
MJ's always looking to start an issue.
This is a crown jewel on the dynasty.
You can't let
started
no one
by
have
Vince.
anything.
I know. Listen, my favorite moment was when Vince Carter was guarding Bow Wow and like Mike. Nah, because saying all that to
I forgot
say,
about that too.
but the thing to me seeing that was
Yo, coach's face right now.
Like I'm not like I'm joking. Obviously, like it was a dunk off for me too. Like the whole thing from start to finish. But the reason why I bring up like Mike is the mere fact that a film about basketball surrounded by MJ use us as like the final boss in a on a US film, that said something about the wave, because in that era too, like Vince dunking in the Olympics too, like tying all that back to what Fanfare said, is that dunk off was the statement, and the things I mentioned were like the byproducts. That was like the effects of just the wave, and that's when people were like, oh shoot, we got to take the North seriously now. Then stuff happened, but that was the beginning. That was the explosion. That was a big bang for us. So yeah, that's one of my the dunk off is my favorite moment too.
Coach,
I think the most excited I've been has been the Vince dunk off. I remember watching that, but like kind of a backwards favorite moment that I've had regarding Vince was when he first came back to Toronto as a net, and he had the game tying three sent to overtime, and then had the loop to win the game.
The game winning
hanging on the rim.
Yeah,
Hanging
I think
You notice why I didn't pick that moment.
yeah, I think, and like he had another game that same year where he had a game winning three, and then Jason Kidd jumped on his arm. So So like I think like the dunk off was like my favorite moment, like the most exciting, but like it's always fuck Vince Carter for what he did to Toronto. But I like bad guys. I like guys who are like who look at the establishment and say fuck you. That's why so like yeah, so I like that. So like when Vince came back and did that, I was like, I remember I was at the game, and like I was at the first game in New Jersey, and the whole stadium was like booing Vince, and the whole stadium when he hit the three was like it was just silent.
Every time he touched the ball,
they were booing him.
They were booing.
I remember
I was booing him loud.
When he hit the three, tie to overtime, bring it to overtime, and like I started cheering. It was weird. Like I started cheering. I'm like, yeah, like I fuck with you, but it's still fuck you. But yeah, those are my moments. Yeah.
MJ.
Yeah, the dunk off obviously was the most excited I've got for Vince Carter, but my favorite like on court play from Vince Carter was probably when he dunked on Alonzo Mourning. That was just absolutely insane to me. Just everything leading up to it, you just knew he was gonna dunk it. I don't know why he jumped, but he did, and it made it perfect. It made it perfect. So yeah, that was my favorite Vince Carter play. But yeah, the dunk off, everything behind it, him just wearing the jersey, him showing the jersey, saying it's over. It was just put Toronto on the map, and yeah, that's the biggest moment. That's one of the biggest moments in Toronto Raptors history too. So
in Canadian sports history,
yeah, everything.
That's right up there with Joe Carter. That's
and the
right
creation of basketball in Canada.
Joseph,
heritage moment.
I mean, I love a good villain too, man. Like, I'm probably gonna say the time that he said dunking was overrated, and then proceeded to like tear down rims for the rest of the year, like New Jersey, was like one of my favorite moments because it was just such an asshole thing to do, but like. Seeing him dunk, like
I said 2 points is 2 points. Fucking
exactly. And then and then a week later, he's like catching lobs from Jason Kidd like reverse in the game, and I was like, he's one of those guys where like even if you don't like him, the minute he takes flight, you're like you become a fan. Like you're just like, but yeah, just between that, seeing him basically dominate court cuts every single night. And the lob that he caught in LA in the Clippers Stadium from, I want to say, not Keon Clark. Keon Clark or Charles Oakley threw it, and he caught it like back here.
Yeah.
To look up that clip. That's hands down one of my favorite Vince Carter dubs.
There's that one, and the one you caught in UNC where he windmilled it.
McDonald's? He had a McDonald's one too, no?
I'm not sure it was McDonald's, but he caught one. I think it was like in North Carolina Stadium.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was. And he caught it. And
he's just such an angry dunker.
That was the first time I've ever seen someone do a full
I've never seen that. Yeah, I never seen it before.
Full windmill
and punch it.
Yeah, bro.
You guys remember the play when I don't know what it was, but there was an inbound and they threw it off the backboard from like half court, and he missed it though. But I think it was.
I think that was his charity game.
It was a charity game. That might have been the McDonald's one. But bro, if you guys look up that one again, if he finished that, it would have been crazy.
So like. You guys have all named my favorite moments. Obviously, the dunk competition has to be up there. But Joseph just named the one that I was going to name because no one else named it, was the alley in LA. So if I got to think of a next one, I'm thinking about the game winner that he had against the Spurs when he was in Dallas. And
in the corner.
Yeah.
That bring back bad memories, man.
Him hitting that, I was like,
I was so mad. I'm like, why couldn't you do that for us?
And he double pimped it too, bro.
Yeah, I think the reason why that was up there for me was because I feel like he was going to go through his whole career trying to make that shot. And then he finally was able to make it. But this was like years after he left Toronto, right? It's not like it was like the next year. Like he already played
10 years later.
He played in the Nets, then he played on.
He even said that after he missed that shot in Philly, he actually went back to the gym that night and shot that shot like 400 more times just to prove to himself that he could make it.
He could make it, yeah. And I feel like that was the one opportunity he had in a playoff game to do it, and then he did it. So I was like, but I wasn't going to bring up that one, but everyone else brought up my own. This is what sucks when you go last. But it's okay. But yeah, let's say happy retirement, happy career to Vince Carter.
I will say I'll forever have a sore spot for what he did, but I have the most appreciation for his career as a whole and for what he did for Toronto now than I ever had. I mean, I had his jersey. I use it as a dishcloth because I don't burn jersey because yes. But he was my very first jersey.
Wow.
Very first game I went to. So, there's an up and down relationship with him, but at the end of the day, he's had a solid career. He should be very proud of what he's accomplished. He is a legend. And I don't think there'll ever be a talent even coming close, but I hope something does come, because I hope he inspires somebody to come up and kind of carry the torch. But yeah, I have enough respect for me, except for that little thing with Toronto. But yeah.
This guy. But yeah, no, I think you said that perfectly. And for the rest of us, I think it's just enjoy the next phase of your life. You dedicated so much to basketball. It's been so long that you've been – a lot of times a lot of players dedicate their whole life to basketball, and then what's the next phase? I hope that you know what your next phase is. And he's been doing a lot of he's been filling in with a lot of the after basketball talk shows and stuff like that. So that might be the next phase of what he does. So whatever you do next, congratulations on such a storied career and bringing a lot of highlights and a lot of what is MJ doing, man?
You guys remember the game winner? When he did that dance?
It threw me off of my sign. But anyways, does anybody have any last words that they want to bring up on this podcast? Anything that comes to mind at this point?
Pretty much summed it up.
Pretty much summed it up.
Vince needs his jersey retired, man.
Jersey for the Raptors.
Toronto?
Either that or he needs a statue, man.
Hell no, not a statue.
No statue.
No statue?
He can't get a statue in Toronto.
Get Kawhi a statue. No.
Oh, you know what? This is for
jersey retirement, yes.
We'll leave this one for another day.
Yeah.
You can give Vince like one of those head things that they have at Canton.
The bobbleheads?
You are
no, bobbleheads. Like, no, man. Like you know how the Football Hall of Fame has those like the head.
Oh yeah.
A bus.
the head.
A bus.
That'd be kind of dope.
Yeah.
I just want to see like a statue of him, like with his arm in the rim, bro.
You know what, Francis? I can see them making a bust. I can see them making a bust of him and just putting it in the ACC.
We don't need a statue of him.
Yeah, I can see that.
Not a statue.
No statue.
Unless the statue is
with no
half of him
championship?
dunking and half of him on crutches.
All right. So this has been the Chat Room podcast. Dewayne, do you want to plug your social media?
Yeah, for my Instagram, it's Chaz Tannenbaum. My Twitter is Cashern10. And I'm not on Facebook anymore, so Instagram and Twitter for me.
All right, Essay.
So Instagram is at ProChatterbox. And also you can check me on my podcast coming soon, Talks with the Chatterbox. Stay tuned.
Coach?
I only got IG, so Real Deal _Francis. Hit me up. And you can watch me this year trying to win the national championship for Satan.
Yeah.
MJ?
At 21.drip, or you can follow at Drippy Supply.
Okay. Joseph?
Man, I ain't got nothing to plug, man. Yo,
This man's raw out here. He's raw out
I ain't
here.
got nothing to plug. Yo, you know what? Follow me on Instagram. Flexpeditiously. Follow me on Instagram. That's about it. And
You might need to spell that, man.
Don't worry.
I was gonna say the same thing.
I'll have it under him in the video. It's
He'll
okay.
tag me. And Twitter, Josclusive. JOSKLUSIV. Don't worry, it's a long story with that name. I'll get into it another time.
All right, that's the next podcast one. And you can follow me at The Senator. Make sure to tune in to the Not So Soft podcast. Comes out every Friday. And we also make sure to subscribe to the Chat Room Pod on Instagram at the.chatroompod. Make sure to follow on Instagram. We do a lot of giveaways on there, so make sure you're commenting on all the posts. Share it to a bunch of the people that you know. This is the way how we build up a community. We're trying to build a solid community of basketball lovers and a foundation of people that we can have general conversation with, and their takes can be a part of this take. So make sure to follow on Instagram at the.chatroompod and subscribe on whatever you get your podcast on, whether Spotify, Apple Music, doesn't matter. We'll be up on all of those, and we'll have the videos up on YouTube. So this is the Chat Room Podcast, your favorite baller's favorite podcast, and we are out.
I know.
So, man.